Hey there, folks. Brian King here. Just got off the phone with a client. We were talking about how to make conversation, how to sustain conversation, make friends, all that really important stuff. And I was reminded of a story that I have told maybe a couple of years ago, but I want to revisit it because what it teaches is so essential to making friends and sustaining friends. The story is, see, I graduated about 30 years ago. And when I went to my 20th high school reunion, I really didn't want to go. I didn't have a lot of positive memories from school, but I was dragged there kicking and screaming by my best friend at the time. And when I walked through the door, one of the most beautiful girls that I remember from high school ran over and gave me a hug. And the thing that surprised me most about this is she and I never talked ever. We never exchanged words the whole 4 years we were in high school. I knew who she was. We had classes together, but we never talked. And she ran over and gave me a hug and said, "Oh, I'm so glad you're here." At first, I thought it was a mistaken identity. So I asked her, "Do you know who I am?" She says, "Yeah, you're Brian King." And I said, "What?" I said, "Wait a minute. We never talked the whole time we were in high school. Why are you glad to see me?" She said, "Well, I always thought you were a cool guy. I just didn't know how to approach you." And that was like, boom. All through high school, I thought people didn't approach me because they didn't like me. And she just offered a paradigm shift that I hadn't considered. That there was something about me that made me difficult to approach. Now, let me open up this can of worms for you. As somebody living with Asperger's traits and with ADHD, we do not socialize in a typical way. We don't process information, whether it be language or the sensory data around us. We don't do it like everybody else does. So imagine how much different the signals must be that we are giving off to people in terms of our social ability. Our nonverbal could very well be like a different language to people. So when we're sitting there, hoping to be approached, wanting to make friends, we're giving off signals that to them don't compute. So it isn't that they don't want to talk to us necessarily, it's that they can't spot the in. They can't spot that one thing that tells them, "Oh, Brian's available for a conversation." And like I shared with this client, there's that possibility that they look at him and say, "Well, I can't tell if he wants to be alone or if he wants people to come over," because of how people are sitting, whether or not they make eye contact or sustained eye contact. There's a lot of BS beliefs around that feature alone. That if you don't make eye contact, you're being deceptive, that you're lying, that you're not trustworthy. All of that complete BS. If you have sensory processing issues, it can be very much, especially in my case, where it's difficult to multitask your senses. Looking and seeing at the same time may not work very well, so you choose one over the other. You want to hear what a person's saying to you, so your eyes typically need to not focus on them. And they take that as lack of interest, deception. No. If anything, it's extreme interest in what it is you're saying to the point where they want to make sure they hear what you say, so they avert their eyes. So this is where self-advocacy comes in. That's another conversation. But the main reason I'm sharing this with you is because as somebody that gives off unique signals, like any other alien race to this planet might do, it's important that you learn to be comfortable giving signals as far as your availability. The most simple one is a friendly greeting. "Hey, good morning, nice to see you. How was your evening? Hey, you look nice today. That's a nice tie, or that's a nice dress, or whatever it is." Something to simply break the ice, open up in a friendly way to let them know you're approachable. And you might want to check in throughout the day. "Hey, how's your day going?" Because if you're more introverted like I am, there may be times where you want to socialize, but others don't know it. If your default way of relating is to be a little more closed off or just plain old awkward, because we're not wired the same way. If you're socially awkward, you don't give off those typical signals. So you need to learn to verbalize it. Let people know you're open to conversation. Where you take it from there, that's a different level of instruction. But to break the ice, you need to get used to going first, to letting people know you're open. If you're expecting them to come to you, it quite possibly won't happen because of those little awkward signals that don't let them know that we're actually approaching. So that's an important nugget that I wanted to share with you because it's essential, it's simple, it's something you can do right away, and it can change the world for you socially. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been helpful. If so, let me know. And if there are others in your life that are awkward as well, maybe it's even you, feel free to share so they can benefit from it as well. Until we talk again, this has been Brian. Take care.